You might be wondering what happened to Ethereum when there's a 6-figure price tag on Bitcoin. Solana's been so hot, man. It's the on-chain Vegas. Not just for the average DJ either, but for the sitting president of America launched a meme coin there. His wife, gosh, Melania, why'd you do that to us? You did us dirty on that one, honey. Anyway, but if you're still hanging on to your Ethereum bag, here's some good news. I found 5 explosive catalysts that are all set to ignite the next Ethereum bull run, and possibly even sooner than you think. And don't get me wrong, I've been very critical of Ethereum. I've kicked it in the balls many a times, but its time could be here for a run. So hear me out, because the first major factor is that the dev is doing something. Vitalik's 10x scaling plan. So one of the big positives that Ethereum has in its favor right now, of course, is the gigabrain nerd, Vitalik Buterin. He's one of the most recognizable figures in the whole crypto, and you know he's absolutely legit. An OG cypherpunk from back in the day who, he's there at the front of ETH, man, sharing his thoughts, genuinely wants crypto to be a force for good in the world. A mission-driven nerd. Exactly the kind of dev you need doing stuff. The problem is he's been locked in his ivory tower or just, sleeping his way around Asia, it seems. Anyway, besides the point, it all translates to constantly working on improving Ethereum development, okay? Seems he's broken up with his girlfriend, he's back at it. So, when he was asked at the recent ETH Global Hackathon in Prague about when we could see anticipated changes to the Ethereum Layer 1, it's worth paying close attention to his answer. And it was that the main chain should scale by about 10x over the next year and a bit. It's all a bit non-definitive, but 10x scaling for main chain Ethereum is gonna be a big deal. If that sounds like a long time frame, remember that Vitalik is committed to keeping Ethereum decentralized and censorship resistant, to have it be the credible, neutral financial layer of the internet. And even when it comes to just solely price, it's anticipation that often drives speculation. So just having a big goal of 10x scaling for the main chain, that's really, really good. That's something people can look forward to. They know it's going to get delivered in the next year. They know it's going to be a big deal for the main chain. That can provide a powerful narrative that turns into a powerful catalyst that sends the price skyrocketing. The next important factor is ETH ETF staking. First off, the ETH ETFs finally, and again, I kick ETH ETFs in the balls many a times for their lack of inflows, but Wall Street's paying attention now. Now they're buying. ETH ETFs are looking good right now, racking up a record 19-day inflow streak that was only interrupted by a war in the Middle East. That bullish run increased daily total assets under management across the funds to over $9 billion. We had $1.5 billion of inflows over that time period, by the way. It's demonstrated the market has already revitalized appetite for ETH. Wall Street wants it. They know we got the staking coming. What could bump up ETF demand even more? What could these ETF buyers be positioning themselves for? Staking ETFs. That way, yield can be generated and returned to shareholders, which is about 3 to 4% staking yield right now on Ethereum. So it's not crazy, but it's not bad, is it? That could trigger further inflows. So, is this change likely to happen? Well, BlackRock, issuer of the biggest ETH ETF, met with the SEC's new crypto task force last month, and staking was a key topic on the agenda. And don't forget, the SEC is pro-crypto now, and what BlackRock wants, BlackRock usually gets. That said, the SEC this week delayed a decision on staking in the Franklin Templeton ETH ETF. So we're not quite there yet. But that likely means the commission is actually working through the details carefully. Conversations are being had. So this is definitely one to watch. When we get ETH ETF staking, that's probably a catalyst. Now the next possible catalyst, well actually before we get into the next possible catalyst, guys, you want to trade ETH, you want to trade ETH beta coins like Pepe, you just want to trade some Bitcoin, some Solana, whatever you want to trade, you need to be doing that over on BitUnix. It is the hottest place to be trading crypto coins right now. And it's getting even hotter because not only is it no KYC, no VPN, available to anyone, anywhere, with all the big coins and deep liquidity. But right now, they have some insane deals going on. Listen to this, you have up to $2,000 in trading rewards. So the more you trade, the more cash you get back into your account. Plus, check this out, you can even get up to $400 in deposit bonuses. So you deposit $1,000, you get $200 back into your account, and you deposit $2,000, you get $400 back into your account. That's crazy money, man. Plus, Monday to Friday, every day through the month of June, during our live streams, we're giving away $1,000 to new signups, $500 for 2 people. You could be one of those lucky winners. Go check it out, link down below. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about Ethereum Treasury Companies. The first of these to do it in size is the NASDAQ-listed SharpLink Gaming, an online gambling marketer that this month bought $463 million worth of Ethereum for its treasury, making it the second biggest ETH holder after the Ethereum Foundation. After that purchase, SharpLink's share price went a little crazy. soared up a few %, and then crashed more than 70% in like a couple hours. It was pretty dramatic. It's starting to recover again after that crash, although the crash seems to have been triggered by, well, say some misunderstandings around the company's S3 filing. Either way, though, SharpLink stock is up from where it was before the ETH acquisition. And we will have more ETH Treasury companies. What other firms are going to follow its lead? Because there will be some. Now, Solana Treasury companies, XRP Treasury companies have already been more popular than ETH Treasury companies. Is what it is, I guess, but I'm sure we'll see more ETH Treasury companies as well. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. But you still might be asking, why ETH? And is it likely to remain the biggest chain after Bitcoin for the foreseeable future? Well, in that case, perhaps we should take a look at real-world assets on Ethereum. By the way, I still think Solana is massively undervalued compared to Ethereum. Probably the higher ROI bet, but still, there's a lot of things to pay attention to, like real-world assets. Tokenized real-world assets are rapidly expanding in the crypto sector. The total RWA on-chain value is now $23.9 billion. 1/10 of the stablecoin market cap, growing fast. It has huge appeal in the TradFi world, and it just makes a lot of sense. If you can tokenize an asset and trade it on-chain, why wouldn't you do that? Instant settlement times, cheaper fees, no clearinghouse is needed. It's big stuff. And it so happens that Ethereum absolutely dominates when it comes to real-world assets with 59.8% of the market share. And by the way, in second place is 18% on ZK Sync Arrow, which is an Ethereum layer 2. And I'm genuinely surprised that literally anyone's using ZK Sync, let alone they have 18% market dominance on real-world assets. That's crazy. Also, if we take a look at DeFi, it's a pretty similar story with Ethereum taking 55% of the market share, which equates to over $63 billion in TVL across 1,374 protocols. Obviously, the vast majority of that money is in the top 10 protocols. While it's true that Solana is making up some ground here with rising TVLs in Solana DeFi and rising stablecoin volumes and adoption rates off the charts, okay, Ethereum is way out in the lead, and a lot of DeFi activity is very sticky and long-term, and a lot of Ethereum whales are still using Ethereum DeFi. Speaking of stickiness over the long term, the final catalyst that can add fuel to a rally is the amount of ETH supply staked and leaving exchanges. So, starting with the first of these points, right now, there are currently 35 million Ethereum coins, or 28% of the supply that's locked up in staking protocols, which is a very substantial chunk of coin. Then on top of that, if we check what's happening right now on the trading platforms, well, there's a very interesting thing here too, because there's a steep ongoing plunge in the number of coins that are being held on exchanges. Now, back in 2022, there were over 30 million ETH sitting on exchanges. Well, right now, that number has absolutely plummeted to just over 18.5 million. That's almost a 39% drop. And the trend appears to not be letting up. It's still heading down. So you can imagine that if we've got coins that are staked in coins, and by the way, in case you don't understand with staking, it's got an exit queue. You can only unstake 40,000 ETH per day. It's a 2-year plus exit queue if everybody wanted to unstake at the same time. This is locked up supply. It's sticky. Plus coins coming off exchanges. Then we get a big increase in buyer demand. Guess what that sets up for? Decreasing supply, increase in demand from ETFs and treasury companies. That's a price shock. That's what happens. Okay, when price starts moving up, guess what? More people want to jump in. More people want to buy. You can see a big squeeze to the upside. Any moment now, probably going to be some months, but it'll happen eventually. Also, it's worth remembering that a rally for ETH is a huge positive for the whole of crypto, and it's, of course, itself a major catalyst that can set off a broad altcoin season. When ETH runs, you know that animal spirits are rampant, and many other coins will suddenly have room to breathe. So whatever altcoin bags you're holding, I got news for you. You should be rooting for Ethereum to have a big effing rally, because when it does, everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to have a spot at the table, and even your dog coins and your shitty layer ones that aren't doing anything right now are going to pump too. Thank you, Vitalik. Thanks for watching.